Hello friends, in this video we'll be discussing the special areas of counseling. Initially, counseling was designed to psychologically empower the individual who approaches the counselor. What is psychological empowerment? Psychological empowerment means that individual is made capable enough to deal with his own issues, problems and life challenges. In counseling process, the individual who seeks counseling is known as the client or the counselee, and who offers the counseling services is known as the professional counselor. They sit together face to face and interact, and the interaction leads to a kind of a change in the counselee, and that change has to be permanent one. In other words, there's a kind of learning where modification in the behavior is permanent. One-to-one discussion mandates the requirement of a bonding relationship. So this relationship is a unique one, and the uniqueness and the efficacy of this relationship led the counseling to spread its wing in the different areas, or other way around, the other areas also start utilizing the very impressive and scientific technique that is known as the counseling. So that other areas are generally termed as the special areas of the counseling. So what are the special areas? Apart from this, there are lots of special areas where counseling is being successfully used for dealing with the problems, empowering the clients, changing the client's behavior, and as a whole, improving the quality of life. So this list is not exhaustive one. Some of the special areas: family group consultation, counseling families, counseling women, parent counseling, counseling the delinquent, counseling reluctant clients, marriage counseling, premarital counseling, counseling with families concerning children, counseling weaker section of society, counseling drug addicts and life skill trainers. So we'll discuss these areas one by one. So what is family group consultation? The name suggests that there are various families, they sit together and consult each other in the presence of the counselor. A limit has been set that minimum there should be 2 families and maximum there should not be 4 families. Because the higher the number of the families, there may be chances of lesser fruitful discussion, and the consultation may not be as fruitful as expected. This consultation among the families is being carried out in the presence of the counselor. Usually this technique needs at least 8 to 12 sessions, so that the families discuss their own unique problems with the other families, and they come out with the unique solutions. Families are motivated to discuss their life challenges, life events with the other families, and simultaneously have been learning the intricacies of the dealing with the challenges, how to deal with the problems, how to come out with the best fit solutions, how to come up with the ideas that leads to the betterment of the life, and so on. So what is the basic idea of family group consultation is to enhance the positive interaction among the families, and if required, the counselor also provides the scientific and a professional help to the families. So this is a kind of special counseling generally known as the family group consultation. Second one, counseling the families. It is entirely different from the first part, that is family group consultation. Here the families are counseled by the counselor. Why? Because when families feel that they need counseling due to the discord between the family members. Why this discord occurs? This is a common one. Because every family has got various age group of people. The newer age group people have new ideas. They have new way of thinking. Whereas the older people love to stick to their old traditions, customs, and mores. The older people tend to persuade, force the newer people to adhere to the customs of the family, whereas they like to live their own life. So this or lack of following the traditional system by the junior lot and or not allowed to change by the senior lot leads to discord between the family members. Here there is a need of the family counseling. So this is counseling the family as a unit. Counseling women. The paradigms of society has been changed, leading to the empowering the women. Women by virtue of different factors has been oppressed by various cultures. Though in the modern times that oppression has been reduced to some extent, but I cannot say that it is totally extinct. Still, women are being oppressed and given a second class treatment by some cultures. So, when women have come out from that the glass ceilings and left the traditional society for the newer horizons, this led to the autonomy in their decision making. Now they are independent in making their decision regarding their own life. The freedom of women from socio-cultural bonds and economic self-sufficiency necessitated the emergence of the new area of women counseling. Women are now living independent life. They have their own values, their own system, apart from the traditional social system of which they are part. So this led to a new area where women need professional help in dealing with their unique problems, unique issues that has been arised due to their changed status. Then the parent counseling. Parent counseling is a kind of social engineering. When parents are counseled, parents play a pivotal role in the family as a unit. So when parents are counseled, this means there is a kind of engineering being done in the social circles. The aim of parent counseling is to sensitize parents regarding their role as role models for the children. Parents are the first teachers, subsequently the role models for the children. The behavior of the parents, the working style of the parents, the dressing style of parents leave a long lasting impression on the tender mind of a child. So, considering this point, the parents must be sensitive towards the need of the immediate psychosocial environment. So, why parents need counseling? It's obvious that parents and child, they have a little bit of a gap. That is, contemporarily it is known as the generation gap. This generation gap is common. This generation gap leads to the differences in the perceptual ability of parents and teachers towards a child. So, teacher looks toward a child with a different perspective. Parents look toward their own ward with a different perspective. So, difference in this perceptual ability requires a kind of balancing. This balancing is very, very important for the total development and growth of the child. I am not saying this technique is for the change in the attitude of teachers and parents toward the child. It is not that. It is a kind of creating a harmony between the perceptual style of the parents and perceptual style of the teachers towards the child and vice versa. So that is the parent counseling. Counseling the delinquent. Delinquency is indicator of gross emotional immaturity, and this behavior is most common in adolescents because due to the change in their psychophysiological domain, they tend to have different mindset, and that different mindset is the resultant of the emotional immaturity. Adolescents are found to be immature emotionally because of the lack of experience and lack of other factors. The rapid psychophysical growth led by the mental upheaval induces nervousness, self consciousness, uncertainty about the future, and other behavioral changes. When an adolescent feels that I am not being listened properly by my parents or by my teachers or by my peers, I have not been given proper care, he is or she is uncertain about the future. This all leads to the conflict in the psychosocial domain of the adolescent. So this upheaval may lead to the delinquent behavior because delinquency is closely related to such type of a behavior which is socially unaccepted, such as petty crimes, stealing something, engaging in some brawl with some neighbors, something like that, or experimenting with the drugs, smoking, consumption of alcohol, traveling without tickets, these small crimes. To handle the delinquents, a professional help is required, and that is offered by the professional counselor. Then counseling reluctant clients. This is also a very interesting special field of counseling. Why? Sometimes the clients feel that they are fine with their psychological health. Why they need professional help? That is, they refuse to accept their condition as a psychologically morbidity. If someone doesn't accept it, how that counseling can be offered? Here comes the challenge for the counselor, because precondition of counseling is that the counselee has to be volunteer in seeking the professional help. But here it is just opposite, where clients are reluctant to take the counseling sessions. In that case too, that counseling is to be done, and it's a very challenging job for the counselor, because when a client is reluctant, he or she will never be share the personal details. Without the information, it is almost impossible to diagnose the problem and to suggest the probable solution. Generally, the reluctancy results from various kind of dissatisfaction, faulty belief system, and the lack of faith in others. So this class of people, those who are reluctant to get counseled, the most difficult one. Next one, the marriage counseling. Marriage is a sanctum relationship between the two individuals. And when we know that individuals are unique and different, their personality, their temperament, when these two people come together, there is bound to be differences between these two peoples because they have their unique personality style, responding style to the stimuli. All are different, all are unique. So this leads to sometimes breakup of the marriages, divorces, and there is a discord in the marital life. The stress in marital relationship can be attributed to several factors, such as third party involvement. What is third party? A relationship outside the marriage. This means third individual is involved in the couple's life. Change in family structure, difference in belief and value system, adjustment, excessive expectations, lack of communication and empathy, and other host of factors. These all factors leads to the discord between the partners. So the couples and the relationships type are focal point of marriage counseling. Those couples or those individuals who face problems in their married life due to the described factors or some other factors, they can seek the professional help in dealing with that imbalance. The people from which sect, from which culture, from which geographical location they approach the counselor must be well versed with the system of marriage, the changing social structure, and the fast development in the technology is leading to host of problems in the married life. Even marriage counselors are employed by the legal system to help tide over the plethora of cases of the divorce. So this is a promising field for the counselors. Then premarital counseling. The premarital counseling is conducted in cases where potential mates are known to each other and they are expected to tie a knot in the future. Means they are going to be potential mates. However, in Indian system, premarital counseling is just new field because in India, generally the marriage is being solemnized between two entirely unknown individuals. However, in major metropolitan cities, the premarital counseling is taking a new trend because the potential mates know each other prior tying their knot. So there, the premarital counseling is need of the hour. Counseling with families concerning children. The parent-child relationship is the focal point of this technique. Why? Because when children grow up, they become less dependent upon their parents. They tend to take their own decisions. They tend to look at the things from their own perspective. Whereas parents still expect their children to live and behave as per the family philosophy, ethics, traditions, and customs. Sometimes some parents expect their children to be what they could not. Means the unfulfilled dreams of the parents are being enforced by them on their child. So this led to the conflict between the children and the parents. The differencing viewpoint leads to the stress relationship. And so one more area where the counseling with family concerning children handles is the sibling relationship. Sometimes the relation between the siblings is not as per the standards of the family. So this also addressed by this technique. The counseling weaker section of society. The diversity of Indian society has its own strengths and weaknesses. One of the weaknesses is large socio-economic gap among people. This is more often seen in the developing countries, where the gap between the haves and have-not is larger. Those who are less fortunate, they tend to have a feeling of inferiority, leading to lacking in almost all spheres of life. The counselor needs to relate unconditionally with such people because they have a feeling of inferiority, because they lack resources. The lack of resources impedes their socio-psycho-economical development and they feel alienated from the mainstream. For that reason, the counselor has to be very much sensitive about their needs, about their socioeconomic status, about handling such cases. Counseling drug addicts. It's a very important area where counselor needs to focus upon. Drug addiction is the result of behavioral deficiency that arise out of several factors such as frustration, feeling alienated, distressed behavior, escapism, excitement seeking, experimentation, and realistic aspiration, the curiosity, the love for the experimentation, love for the risk taking behavior. This drug addiction is generally found among the adolescents. It is psychobiological phenomena. The psychological factors pushes the individual towards the consumption of illicit substance. And once that substance enters the body, that substance slowly controls the behavioral pattern. That is, biologically, it influences the internal structure of the human being, leading to the addiction. Why? Because the drug which has been consumed provides a temporary relief. The counselor needs to ensure that the drug addict is to be made aware through the counseling technique that the relief you are seeking in this substance abuse or this drug is temporary. It's not going to solve your problems permanently, and it will going to interfere with your physical health too. They will be reluctant to get counseled. They will be reluctant to share the information. They will be reluctant to live without the drug. It's a very challenging task for the counselor, but it's a very important one. It's a noble cause. Mostly the illicit substances, alcohol, allopathic medicines which has been prescribed for particular ailment are being misused by the people for various reasons, discussion of which is beyond the scope of this lecture. Then life skill trainers. What are the life skills? Life skills are living skills that add quality to life. Life skills provide tools to deal with the challenges, demand of daily lives the youth face, from managing their emotions to make an informed decision. Learning such skills, learning such behaviors which improves the living standard. The learning life skills sometimes has added advantage of earning better. But the central premise of life skills is enhancing the individual's quality of living. The trainers need to counsel on 3 domains of life skills: self-awareness, interpersonal skills, and thinking skills. If an individual gains in 3 areas, certainly individual learns to live a quality life. These skills help youth better understand themselves, get along with others, and gain psychological tools to cope up with the life's inevitable difficulties, challenges, and problems. Life skill helps in coping up with the stress. Life skill helps in dealing with the problems in better way. Life skill helps in changing the perspective of individual towards the life and others. This way, the quality of life is enhanced and individual tends to live a better life. These are my references. You can cross-check them or you can read them for deeper insight. Next discussion will be on the types of counseling. Till the time, friends, if you like this discussion, share with others. But if you want to say something or dislike it, share with me. You can write in my comment box or you can email me at vermasujit@yahoo.com.